Let your light be a wonder to the world. You've got nothing to hide. Go radiate the glory of your love. Turn yourself on. Turn yourself on. Thanks, Brian.
Good morning. I'm Reverend Carol Walrazak, and I welcome you today. I'm platforming for Stephanie Roy, our guest speaker. And I'll be introducing Stephanie more fully later in the service. I also wanted to thank all the streamers we have here at Unity. We're just so blessed that you're a part of our service. Thank you. And we'll start by saying our mission and vision statement. Just know that Unity on the River is a center of celebration, inspiration, spirit-centeredness, oneness, and joy. Please hold these truths in your heart as we say the vision statement and the mission statement. We are a vibrant spiritual community that celebrates the presence in all and awakens humanity to its divinity. Centered in love, we joyously co-create a world of oneness, peace, and harmony. I would like to welcome anyone who's new today for the first time. Can you put your hand up if you're brand new? Oh, I see some people right out here. We do have flowers, and you'll be given a flower. And after the service, if you take this, keep your hands up now, because we have to find you. After the service, someone will greet you and take you to the welcome table for information about Unity on the River and also a CD of a service. You enrich our experience together. I love it. I love the flowers behind your ears. So please join us for fellowship after the service. This year, we're on a journey to connect with our inner guide and enhance our personal relationship with the Christ within. We are also finding ourselves in transition, looking for a new minister, and we're using life's changes for spiritual awakening. Celebrations, announcements. You know, there's one that's not up there, but I'm going to make it anyway. We have this huge lost and found. If you've lost glasses, a wallet, money, a coat, sweaters, jackets, it's outside the door. You can even see me after service. Okay, it's a beautiful trench coat. I wanted to have a fashion show, but I didn't dare. Today, there's a sacred service team leader meeting and pizza party. It's in the Oneness Room. So if anyone here is heading up one of our volunteer segments, please do attend. Should be an informative meeting and a chance to connect. Also, Stephanie Roy will be doing private sessions, and I just wanted to let you know, if you have an appointment, it is by appointment, that she will be in the minister's office, and the best way is to go out through the main office, and there, I'll show you how to get in there, okay? We're now going to take a minute to greet each other in love with either a handshake or a hug. This is what we call namaste. The Christ in me or the divine in me sees the Christ or the divine in you. I invite you to say to someone near you, I see you. I see your beauty. I see your magnificence. I see all of your possibilities. Namaste.
So just breathing into remembering the oneness of us all. We're turning. We're in the middle of the great turning. Turn to your neighbors and turn to your friends. Turn to your family and kiss them, and then turn to the sun and turn to the land. Turn, turn, turn again in the great the great turning. Shambhala, 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 Shambhala. Shambhala, 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 Shambhala. Turn to the earth and turn to the sky. Turn to your garden and plant your corn high. Turn to the winged ones the animals call. Turn, turn, turn to the all in the great Shambhala, 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 Shambhala. Shambhala, 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 Shambhala. turn to your heart and turn to your mind. Turn to compassion with insight and find. Turn to community, reach out to care. Turn, turn, turn and share in the greater Shambhala, 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 the greater name. Sing it with me. The greater Shambhala, Shambhala. Woo!
As you know, Stephanie Roy is our guest speaker today. Her talk is called Promises and Possibilities. It does not yet appear what we shall be. That is from 1 John chapter 3, verse 2. Stephanie is a metaphysically oriented psychotherapist, retreat and workshop leader. She's a public speaker, an occasional stand-up comedian. And she's one of our own, that's for sure. She has 4 years of Bible study from Florida Bible College and New Tribes Bible Institute, and has been an active participant in the Unity on the River community since 1997, including being a frequent evensong facilitator on Wednesday nights and a workshop presenter. She moved to Pittsburgh in 2009, where she maintains a private therapy practice, and she visits Unity on the River as much as possible. Thank you, Stephanie.
Wow. Thank you so much. It is really wonderful to be here. Although I do have to say it's a lot more comfortable to be on that side than me on this side. And how about this weekend for bringing in the solstice? Has this not been the most gorgeous weekend weather-wise? It's just beautiful. I actually happened to be up very early this morning, and at 3:45 the sun was lightening up. I could not believe it, 3:45. And by 4 o'clock, the dawn had come. So how did I get here? A little bit of my background. I was raised in a Catholic family. When I was 18, I had this amazing spiritual awakening, had a born-again experience. And then I went to Bible college, missionary training, met my husband, got married, had 2 children, got divorced, became an alcoholic. And then I got sober when I was 36 and completely lost the God of my understanding. Now, I didn't lose my relationship with God, but I did lose the structure that I had God put in. And the way I figured, I went from Catholicism to Protestantism to alcoholism. And that was my spiritual journey. Well, actually, looking back, the reason I think that it was so powerful for me to become born again was I got in my heart for the first time that God really loved me. And I wasn't so sure about that in the family that I grew up in. So the church, the Baptist church, I became a Baptist, went from Catholic to Baptist, and they provided everything that was missing. They had somebody big who loved you no matter what. There was a big community of people, and they hugged you. Okay, so that was great. But after a while, it didn't deal with the underlying issues. And so I started to drink instead. That seemed like a good idea to me. And I realized that the church actually couldn't give me what I needed at the heart level in terms of reparenting. That came when I got sober. I started becoming involved with the Shalom community. And that was another community where I got what I needed, kind of heal my family of origin stuff and got that all sorted out. But I really did miss going to church, because what happened when I got sober was I started hearing a message about God that didn't line up with what my experience of God was. I actually saw a sign on a church. You know how they put little sayings on the church, and this one said, eternity, smoking or non-smoking. Don't you love that? And that's how it had been. So I was doing my work. I was saved. I was sober. It was good. But actually, where's Meg? Meg was singing here at Unity when we were meeting in that side. And so I came, and I want to tell you that the minute I walked through the doors, I just had such a sense that the Spirit of God was here. And it had been 8 years since I actually thought I would never darken the doors of a church again. But I came in here to listen to Meg, and I felt almost instantly home, to be with fellow journeyers, fellow believers, people who sang praises, who talked about God, who talked about the Spirit of God inside, and it was wonderful. So that was almost 17 years ago, and I haven't left since. Thank you. And I do come back as often as I can. So the talk today is on promises and possibilities, because I've, over 17 years, of course, seen a lot of history of this church, expanding, contracting, people coming, people going. And I'll tell you, one of the reasons that I knew the Spirit of God was working in this place was because I knew Shipley before she even had that first study group in her home. And I knew that she would rather eat live spiders than get in front of people and talk. So I'm watching Shipley. Now, and those of us who've been here for a long time remember when she had like the 3x5 cards. Oh, that's Anna's picture. I don't want to do that. And she was like shaking, and she would read the cards like this. And we watched that transformation. She was saying yes to the vision, and we just watched it until she became this inspiring, dynamic, incredible teacher, right? So she said yes to the Spirit of God. And the text this morning is John. I know that the first John is, it does not yet appear what we shall be. That's absolutely true. We don't know. There's a chant, that's actually from the first line of a chant from Shalom, and it ends, we're pregnant with mystery. So we don't know what will be yet. But the text that I really have been working with as I prepared this talk is John 15:5. I'm the vine, you are the branches. He that abides in me and I in him, the same brings forth much fruit. For without me you can do nothing. And every branch that bears fruit, he prunes so that it might bear more fruit. And I actually think that's what's happening right now. Because we're not here because of Shipley. We're here because of the Spirit of God. He tapped her on the shoulder. He gave her a vision. He scared the living bejesus out of her, but she said yes. And we are the fruit of that. And isn't that great? So, I've meant to say I have issues with forgetfulness, so you have to track me, because I might have to check with you and say, where was I? So the vine and the branches. Yes, okay. So that's how I really know that who we are here really is of the Spirit of God. So why do we need the promises? There's a lot of promises in Scripture. And I believe that we need the promises. And you give a promise to somebody when the thing that you're promising isn't here yet, right? So the promises in Scripture are because there's a lot of things that God has promised us that I actually just listened to a song that Tammy wrote called Love Takes Time, that the love is there, but the thing hasn't manifested yet. Now, one of the things that Shipley did in preparation for this transition time for her retirement, and it's been in process, I think, almost 3 years, is that, now there's a phrase in Corinthians where Paul says, the minister's job is to equip the saints for the work of the ministry. Now, Shipley has kind of always been doing that, but she really ramped it up the last few years, right? So what does that mean, to equip the saints? It means, well, who are the saints? That's us, right? So to equip the saints is you get what you need to go forward. What's the work of the ministry? Well, I believe really the number one work of the ministry is to love God, to love each other, and to love ourselves. And Jesus said, if you love one another the way I loved you, all men will be drawn unto you. So Shipley did that. It was Cindy Swall who came in. You guys have been doing incredible leadership things and training, and it's just been amazing. And then the leadership team, in preparation for the transition, lined up not one, not two, 4 interim ministers to kind of take us through that passage. And one by one, all 4 of them fell through. They had other plans. And so what does that mean? We don't know. But could it possibly be that it's something is against us? No. No. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we are a branch that has been bearing fruit, and we're being pruned to bear more fruit. Now, I'm not very good at all at growing things. Well, actually, I'm good at growing green things in the back of my refrigerator. So who among you is a gardener, though? Somebody who's really, okay. So right after you prune a bush, what does it look like?
You want to cry.
You want to cry, right? But then in 6 months, what does it look like?
Double the size.
Double the size, beautiful. So we don't know what the future holds for Unity, but we do know that God has promised to fulfill. This is the first promise that came to my mind is, I am convinced, this is, I'm quoting Paul, I'm convinced that he that began a good work in you is faithful to complete it. And I absolutely know that I don't know what the future holds, but I know who holds the future, okay? So that's one of my favorite promises. Another one is, I had it written down, but I don't want to have to look. Well, actually, I'm not going to go to that one. I was going to say 2 more. But I also wanted to open it up to the congregation, to the community, to just take a moment and think, what are some of your favorite promises when the way is dark and the way is not clear, and we need to stir up our faith, because that's, of course, when you need faith. You don't need faith when the light's on and the path is clear. You need faith when all hell's breaking loose and it's dark, and right? So, and the promises are there to stir up our faith. So stand up and speak loud if you feel like doing it. Or you don't have to stand up. Just say, what are your favorite promises?
Can't wait. Acknowledge him in all your ways and he will direct your path.
Ah, awesome. Awesome. Acknowledge the Lord in all your ways and he will direct your paths. Anybody else? Yes. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. Anybody else? Yes, in the back? Peace be still. Absolutely. Actually, one of the verses that I read for myself, actually, as I was preparing, is be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God, and the peace of God, which passes understanding, will keep your hearts and your minds. Yes? Yes, Veronica. If I stayed today, I'll be okay. This is my sister, by the way. Thank you. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
Behold, I make all things new.
Behold, I make all things new. In the back. When conditions are sufficient, there is a manifestation. It's absolutely true. Yes.
Always find the blessing.
Always find the blessing. Well, yes.
Be transformed by the renewal of your mind.
Wow, that's one of my favorites. Say it again.
Be transformed by the renewal of
Absolutely. And I'm going to stop there because that's a great segue. We have a lot to do this morning, so I'm actually not going to talk as long as Shipley usually talks. But that's a great segue into possibilities. Now, we know as a New Thought church that thoughts become things, right? We know that whatever we set our intention and attention on expands. I think one of the things that's happening now, kind of in the evolution of consciousness, is that in the same way, when we all arrived, right, we arrived in these little flesh suits, but we don't know how to use them yet. So, you see a baby kind of just fascinated with this thing. He doesn't even know it's part of him yet. It's like, it's like, and then it's like, I wonder if I can make it. And so we spend the first 5 years figuring out how to be in this spacesuit, right? I think what's happening at this time is that more and more of us, there have always been people who have known about how to use the power of the mind, but more and more of us are getting that. And so the possibilities are whatever we want them to be, because we can co-create whatever it is that our heart's desire is. That we have the ability, with the gift that God gave us in the mind, I think we're just scratching the surface about what it can do, to take, and this is the way it works. I don't know a lot about quantum physics, but I love quantum physics. But the way it works is it goes from the way to get something in the real world, because everything that's here began with a thought, including let there be light, right? Everything that's here began with a thought. A thought. They didn't go to the Home Depot and get stuff and build it, right? So the way we bring things from the unmanifest world of infinite possibility into the manifest world of reality is you focus your attention on it. You have an idea, you vision it. Those of you who know Mike Dooley says he's the one who's probably most famous for thoughts become things, but here's his formula. You envision what you want, you move in the general direction, and you trust God with the details. It's very simple. And he said, and if you don't know what direction you move in, then just move. Just move. So the possibilities for us are limitless. Because, individually what I focus on expands. So individually it's like having a little magnifying glass. Whatever I put it on, it gets bigger. But collectively, what we put it on, we're like the Hubble telescope, right? So collectively, as we envision what we would like for this community, we're much more powerful than we are individually. So the other thing I wanted to encourage you to do was to privately and collectively spend time imagining the right and perfect minister. You guys are already doing this, and I'm just encouraging you to do it more. Actually, we always need to be reminded. That's why people don't go to one AA meeting and get sober. They don't read the big book once and, we're all good. We are constantly needing to refresh and renew our minds. Actually, that verse goes on to say, with the washing of the water of the Word. The washing of the water of the Word, right? So, I want to honor my time commitment. I invite you to take a breath together with me. Mm-hmm. From here, we're going to be shortly going into meditation. And I'm going to be inviting you to imagine what it is that you would love to see for this community. That yes, it's in transition, but everything's normal. Everything's happening just as it's supposed to happen. When a baby arrives, when we all arrive, we experience one end of the world. It's time-consuming, painful, messy, scary, but it's a perfectly normal process. And then we come out and start a whole nother world, and that's what we're doing here. So I'll close with actually it's not a promise, it was actually on a card. The one card was, I didn't tell this. This is a little tidbit just from my mother-in-law. On her table this morning, I saw a card, and it's got Jesus on the Mount of Olives, and he's got a fish and loaves of bread, and the crowd is in front of him. And from the crowd, once somebody says, has that fish been tested for mercury? And somebody else says, is that bread gluten-free? And you open it up and it said, avoid complainers, have a happy birthday.
So remember, what you use that mind. Oh, somebody said this to me too, and I love it. Your mind is powerful. Careful where you point it. Careful where you point that thing, because whatever you focus on expands. And if you focus on what's wrong, that will get bigger. If you focus on what's right or possible, that will get bigger. But it's up to you where you point it. So careful where you point that thing. And I will close with this last piece. It's from a card. And you're going to do the ending because I know you all know it. It'll all turn out good in the end. And if it's not good,
It's not the end.
bless you.
All right. I am the vine, you are the branches. I am the light and the way. I am the vine, you are the branches. I am the light and the way. I am the vine, you are the branches. I am the light and the way.
So breathing deeply now. Allowing yourself to fall into the center of your being. And with the power of your imagination, I invite you to take this time to see, to hear, to co-create the future that you'd like for Unity on the River. We're going to go into a period of silence now. I'll come back for you in about 2 minutes. Taking another breath and coming back. And at this time, if there's anyone that you'd like to hold up for prayer, speak their names softly.
You are the branches, I am the light and the way. I am the vine, you are the branches, I am the light and the way. Vine, you are the branches, I am the light and the way. I am the vine, you are the branches, I am the light and the Spirit of the living God, we thank you for this community. We thank you for the prayers, the petitions, the supplications that are in this box. We know that you know every single one down to the last detail, and that you have the right and perfect answer and solution. So we thank you in advance. We bless everyone who is here. We thank you that you are always available to us, that it's not our job to produce the fruit, it's our job to abide. And so it is. Lift me up, I'm asking you, lift me up and see me through. Lift me up and take me straight to the promise of that promised land. See, all the rivers have been running red, blood of the children that Abraham had, but all of the prophecies of doom and dread, well, can't last a minute in your love. Instead, you gotta lift me up. I'm asking you, lift me up and see me through. Lift me up and take me straight to the promise of that promised land. See, all your people have of all their fears. Could it be the end is near? No, it's the end of our suffering to love so dear. Lift me up, I'm asking you, lift me up and see me through. Lift me up and take me straight to the promise of that promised land. Brian Howasey. Keith. Oh, I am reaching for you, God of my heart. In you I claim the right to make a new start. Finally to realize a conscious mind, it's part of the oneness we want to find. I'm asking you and see me through. Lift me up and take me straight to the promise of that, straight to the promise of that, straight to the promise of that promised land. Hallelujah.
Thank you. That was wonderful. In a moment, we will be receiving tithes and offerings. But first, we want to take a moment to recognize our chaplains. You saw a lot of chaplains today, but we try to have a chaplain in the four corners. And those are the people who will be available to you for prayer after the service. So chaplains, for those of you who are praying today, would you raise your hand so people can see? Whatever you have in your heart that you would like to have held in prayer, be sure to see one of these beautiful souls after service. And we'll say the blessing of the tithes and offerings. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Divine Spirit, we are so grateful for these tithes and offerings. We know that this will go out to do the work and will of the Holy Spirit and just to spread the Christ, the message of the Christ, into the world. Amen. We're such a center of celebration, we have more announcements. Next Sunday, you all know, or most of you know, Cindy Swall. She will be our guest speaker, and her topic is Bliss is the New Black, Finding Contentment and Joy in the Everyday. So I don't yet know exactly what it's about, but I know she'll be here better than ever. She's also here for our community meeting, which will be Sunday after service. And we'll be talking about the budget, strategic planning, and also where we're at in our hiring our new minister. And Cindy's with us for about 10 days, from what I understand. She'll also be our guest speaker on July 6th. Now, gratitudes. First of all, music team, wonderful. Meg, Maura, Brian, all of you. Just terrific. Thank you, Stephanie, so much for being here. Thank you, all the volunteers who make this place work. And with the trustees, please stand. Anybody on the board of trustees, just know that you can see one of these people. If you have any questions, thank you. Now, I believe this is the time in the service where we're welcoming in the children. Are they there? Okay. You'll notice we omitted some of the songs because we had so much going on today, and the children are going to have a commencement service. Seems we have some organizational issues. I know there's something coming in here that's really for this commencement service. This is to, all the children are going up into another grade in school, and I see some costumes, so I'm not in the loop. I know Christina will tell you, and I guess we have a bridge. Okay, here she comes. Hi, Christina. Christina Mariah, Director of Youth and Family.
Thank you, Carol. So, what you're witnessing is the commencement ceremony for our youth, our Unity on the River Youth 2014. So, music, please.
Might sound crazy what I'm about to say. Sometimes she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that can go to space. With the air like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like
Our youth are dressed in superhero costumes for a reason. Our theme this past school year was Dream Big Dreams. Our children learned about the power of imagination and faith in the fall. Right from the start, we watched the movie Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, which he dreams a special dream, and that's right. I'm being upstaged again. And then we followed Mary and Joseph to Bethlehem to give birth to baby Jesus, and we followed Jesus and watched him grow up and be a famous teacher and show us how strong the powers of faith, love, and order are in our lives. Finally, our children used their power of imagination to create heaven on earth, to create their future and their future dreams, and we watched a caterpillar transform into a beautiful swallowtail butterfly. Yes, name Ms. Lovely. Fluffy. I knew that. I knew that. So now I'm going to give each of the children their certificates of completion for our 2014 graduation. Can you hold this? This is our 2014 Unity on the River Youth. Woo! Woohoo! And congratulations to all the children who are out in live stream land, and they'll receive their certificates later. So we have one other thing that I'd like to do today. I have a special friendship with two people that have lasted for at least 6 years. I'd like Selena to come up and join. Leah, please. Selena and Leah have been part of Youth Ed and a part of my life for the last 6 years. I know what I'm going to do without them. And one of the many things that Selena has done is hold space in Youth Ed after service, taking care of our children, taking care of our family table, planning outings with me, planning family events with me, and just want to wish you a happy journey and adventure in California. I know I'll see you soon. And we all love you. We're having a party for Selena and Leah at Stacy's house on 50 Bradford Street in Haverhill. It's in the Haverhill North Andover line. We're leaving at 12:30 if you want to join us to carpool there. And you can ask me or Stacy Stranford for directions, or Selena if she's able. So Carol would like to give you a blessing.
This is a blessing for relocation, okay? Homes change, renewing your spirit. Jobs change, presenting opportunity. New friends come, opening to new parts of both of you. True friends last, keeping in touch across the miles. Routines change, making room for new choices. New challenges expand your skills and awareness. Moving opens your world to new possibilities. Leah and Selena, we bless your move to California, and we bless you, and we're all going to join together, repeating after me. We love you. We appreciate you. We bless you. And we behold the Christ in both of you. And so it is. And now we'll have a final blessing of the children, which Stephanie will do.
Spirit of God, we ask that you would just pour out fountains and rivers of magical powers, of supernatural abilities, that you would fill their hearts with dreams, and that you would give them a big yes to following their joy compass on this magical mystery tour. And so it is. Okay. So hold someone's hand. And join with us now. The light of God surrounds us.
We are the light of God.
The love of God enfolds us.
We are the love of God.
The power of God protects us.
We are the power of God.
And the presence of God watches over us.
We are the presence of God.
Wherever we are, God is, and all is well, and we are richly blessed. Go in peace.
Good job.
Thank you.
Join us in our peace song.